Yes.
That was 5 alpha. Now, anyway, so I'm glad you brought that in today. I'm sorry.
About time.
I broke a small piece.
You didn't break it. It functions perfectly. Are we filming? Oh, hey guys, welcome back to the Not So Round Table. I didn't even realize that you would smack this.
It's okay.
Together. Welcome back to the Not So Round Table. You guys know how it works. You submit questions from the previous video of the Not So Round Table, and they go into our helm of reasoning. We're working out how to make the camera not sound like it's got wind in it and stuff, but
we're working on it.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. Every episode is a new challenge.
Yeah. So George and I are going to be answering questions in this this episode. You want to start us off, or? There we go. Look at that. Reluctantly going for it.
Yeah. We just came back from lunch. Cha-Cha Chili's again.
Yeah. So I always feel heavy after Cha-Cha Chili's.
Yeah, I know, me too. Okay, this is from iBot117. Hey, insert. I was wondering, what is the textbook or Airsoft rulebook definition of blind firing? I'm asking because these things like corner commercial camera sighting commercial camera sighting systems and other methods of sighting and shooting are around corners without exposure to return fire. Are these systems blind firing and ultimately fair for Airsoft and Milsim? Yes, it is technically blind firing at most fields, even if you have a corner shot system.
I think that's probably why corner shots haven't really been terribly popular in Airsoft.
Well, you have to think about it this way. It's an unfair advantage, one. Two, it's a safety hazard. In real combat, safety is your last concern. It's about winning, and you will cheat to win in real life when your life is on the line. Whereas Airsoft, I mean, I don't know about you, but never engage in a fair fight in real combat, ever. Our soldiers never do that. You kidding me? Like, if they have 7 dudes and there's one guy shooting at him from a building, they'll just drop a bomb on it.
Yeah,
like,
they'll just level the building.
They'll just level the building, like screw trying to shoot him.
And as far as official rules go, it depends on the field, but for the most part, now I can show you. Okay, so blind firing is anything where you are not physically behind the sights on your
you don't see
gun.
Where your BBs are going.
I don't have a front sight, but just imagine it's there. So this is a proper way of firing. This, if there's a corner here, is not. So if your body is not exposed, it's blind firing. Whether that's around a corner or up above a barricade that you can't see over or put your head over, that's technically blind firing. Whether you're using a pistol or an AEG or even a gas blowback rifle, they're all
Doesn't
the same.
matter. All the same.
Yep.
Simple.
There you go.
Really?
Whatever.
You just dropped like 1 or 2 questions on the floor.
Sorry.
Again.
Sorry. Brian Vargas asks, Dear Evike, what does it take to get a job and work at Evike.com store? P.S. I know you're reading my question because I'm looking at you right now. That's right. It's me looking at you.
Creeper much?
LOL.
You don't get a job. You don't get a job by being a creeper.
Brian, we're having a moment right now.
I'm not having a moment. I'm staring at the mannequin.
Thanks for asking the question, buddy. It means a lot. Now, if you're on this camera, Brian, thanks for asking your question, my friend. Let's get right on this. What does it take to get a job at Evike.com?
There is a new section that'll be going up on the website where you can fill out an online application.
Yep.
And that's basically how. I mean, we do not have a huge amount of positions open, but there's always something going on, something to apply for, something to do. So
having knowledge about Airsoft certainly helps.
Playing Airsoft.
As with anything, that's like, if you want to sell cars, you got to know something about cars.
I don't know about use cars.
That's why I don't sell cars. But
you know a lot about cars, though. Did I just ruin it?
No.
I
should have used a different reference, I suppose.
That's
why I don't sell Toyotas. Because I don't know anything about Toyota.
He likes BMW.
Okay, anyway. So it's not terribly easy to get. We get a huge amount of applications every day. Yeah. And it's not to say that we're just not hiring, it's just that
the selection process is very tight.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. Mm-hmm. But now it's even easier to apply. You don't have to actually even come.
You just go to the website.
Simple.
There you go.
Peter Palomino. I almost said Palomo because I printed it. On episode 11, George said something about high rate of fire guns will no longer be allowed at Lion Claws. Why is that, and is there a set ROF? The set ROF is 30 a second, which is still
plenty fast.
Wait,
is that really part of the
rules? Yeah, it's going in. I think it stemmed from like an incident where somebody got hit with something like that was shooting 45 something or other. I don't know.
Wasn't me. But I wish it was.
I have no problem with a rate of fire build, but I mean, most of the fields out here now, a lot of them are using semi-only for indoors now.
Because it's more realistic. Look,
well, plus it makes it more fun because you get pinned down really quickly in full auto games, especially high rate of fire games. You can't move very fast.
Which is part of the, well, look, the reality is they have to, much like the government, all fields have to regulate everyone based on the actions of a few, unfortunately. Yes. And for the guys that did have high rate of fire guns that weren't having good trigger control and were laying people out, the rest of us have to, I don't want to say suffer, but the rest of us have to deal with the regulation that comes, with that sort of behavior.
Well, here's the thing though, like what would you rather, we play at some fields, for example, that have lower engagement distances or no engagement distances because it's semi-only. Would you rather have no engagement distance or would you rather have high rate of fire? I would much rather have no engagement distance.
That's true, but I'd rather have both.
Well, you don't get those anymore.
Hurt me in Airsoft.
Matt likes to get hurt.
I do. Okay, a radioactive seal.
A radioactive seal, that's good.
He asks, I have a huge question. It's actually quite large. It's a large question.
Large fish.
Okay, so how do I get my AEG to respond faster when I pull the trigger? We've talked about this several times. Less charge up and whatnot. Basically, I want the BB out of the barrel faster, not with FPS, simply by doing the right things and make the response time faster.
You could get like a shorter trigger, like those speed trigger things.
They have adjustable triggers now. Like that's some technology that's been coming to Airsoft for a while. You can adjust the throw on a trigger, especially if you're using like a version 2 gearbox where you have like an M4 style trigger. You can adjust the throw on those. But one of the easiest ways to do that is by not using a standard contact set that would be with your standard wiring. By switching to a MOSFET or an electronic switch.
It needs to be an electronic MOSFET.
An electronic MOSFET.
Yeah, it's got to be an electronic trigger MOSFET that uses the electrical signal from the trigger pull to activate it.
And then it's an immediate response as opposed to the electricity going down to the battery and then back to the motor and then that wind up. So it's an instantaneous.
Or a gas blowback.
Yeah. Convert your AEG to gas blowback.
Or just buy a gas blowback. I am going to the bottom of the helmet here.
Bottom of the barrel?
Yeah, bottom of the helmet of reasoning.
No, there's a saying.
I know.
Bottom of the barrel.
Oh, this has got to be like a Gen 1. Oh, wow. Look at this.
The longest question we've ever had here on Not So Round Table.
This is definitely like from the first episode, and it's because it's such small text. Bridges Bomber Films asks, what is your opinion of looks on your loadout versus actual tactical easiness? Easiness, yes. Okay. Well, I mean, all right. I'm just reading it as is. For example, my first decent airsoft gun was a PPSH. Almost everyone at my local field has M4s. I like to stand out and not just be one of those normal M4 guys. The con of this is the fact that the gun is harder to lug around, can't mount blank anything to it, gets so heavy, and it's hard to aim for a few hours of using it from being tiredness.
Okay.
What is your solution opinion of the ratio of actual tacticalness versus looks? So it's basically the question is
the debate between looking different, looking cool, and being effective.
Practical.
Practical. Let's say practical instead of effective. Well,
I don't know.
It's hard for me to comment because my primary weapons of choice are AR platforms that use M4 style.
Well, I used to want to be different a lot in Airsoft. A long time ago, I had like some really cool AK builds that were really unique and different, but I kind of got away from that and just went back to just a good M4 system because quite honestly, I think Airsoft, once you play it for a longer amount of time, you get less and less focused on what you look like and what gear you have versus other players. I don't know about you, like I'm just not interested. I just want to play.
Some very cool looking players that are amazingly effective on the field.
Yes, no, but what I mean is I'm more interested in just playing and doing something. I don't care what I look like to another player or what gun I'm using to another player. Use what you want to use, and what if you want to be different, I understand that. But at the same time, you shouldn't care about being different.
In other people's eyes.
In other people's eyes. Like if you're just using it, like ultimately,
if you wanted to run your PPSH, dude, run your PPSH.
Run it.
It is a super cool gun, looks amazing. Yeah, with that comes some difficulties, like no rail space.
Yep.
You know, and maybe it's a little bit heavier. But hey, if that's your favorite gun, you know, you can find ways to make yourself more effective on the field, or, you know, or have more fun, and just dealing with the weight or dealing with the lack of rail space options and things like that. Ultimately, I mean, it's all about personal expression in airsoft, and that's why, you know, we dress the way we dress and look the way we look, because, you know, that's a personal reflection of our taste.
But I think now it's more about doing something for practicalness, like we talked about, being practical. Like, don't carry a bunch of magazines, don't carry useless pouches just to look a certain way.
Unless you like the weight. All right, next question coming right up.
You didn't spill a question this time.
I didn't. This one's from Michael Borghese Jr. Dear Insert, love the show. Keep the videos coming. You got it. Would you run a PEQ box, and what are the benefits of using one? Not the battery box versions specifically. So anything but the battery box versions.
I have a PEQ box of one of my guns.
Well, the PEQ boxes with the flashlights in them. That's cool, because then you don't have to have a secondary
you have a light
flashlight.
on there,
or the ones with the flashlight, the laser.
Yeah. You have the whole bunch of ones. I use the GMP clone of the D-ball. Really cool, very small, has visible red laser, and also has an IR illuminator and IR laser. If you ever use
running with guys with night vision,
if you ever use that kind of thing, so that's an option. It's especially really affordable, considering like a real D-ball is like over $1,000.
Not to mention, there's that new X-Cortec PEQ box and MOSFET.
That one is a very cool setup.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that video yet, if that goes up after this,
I think it's going to go up after this, but it's definitely coming up. It's very cool. We'll try to put it out.
It's a PEQ box with more functions than I've ever seen a PEQ box have, and none of them are PEQ box related.
But hey, that's there are uses to it. I think the best ones I've seen are the flashlight laser combo that especially has like the strobe light on it, and you have the pressure switch. Those are really good PEQ boxes, but they're kind of hard to find now too. But don't be afraid to not use one.
Yeah,
right.
They look awesome.
They do.
All right. Another question.
I'm kind of afraid to go down to the bottom again.
Sorry, I forgot to load my mag. I was warming it up. There are no rounds.
Okay. Universal breakdown. What are your opinions? Or what opinions do you have about cheap metal AEGs? SEMA, D-Boys, JG. What about cheap tack vests and pouches?
Okay.
That's a tough question for us in this situation, because you kind of everybody. I think about it this way: everybody in airsoft has their budget that they're working within. So work within your budget. If you have a bigger budget, then obviously go for a gun that you really like, or that has really good reviews, or is very reliable, or what. I think once you get over the $200 range, I think almost all airsoft guns have a good state of reliability, especially if you just even the
sub-200 ones are.
Yes,
are
you can get
reliable.
a SEMA AK that is amazing for $100-$200, and if you don't believe me, here's what you do: you buy a SEMA AK for about $170. You get a tight bore barrel, and that's it. And maybe a good battery,
and it'll last forever.
And it'll last a long time, and you will outrange all of your friends' M4s. I promise you that. If you don't believe me, go to the field and try it.
I mean, you really said it all. I mean, I would put it into a car reference again, but that's okay.
No, it's serious. This is from personal experience of what I've seen. I've seen I remember using my AK that was set up like that. All it had is a Prometheus barrel in it, and it was a SEMA AK-47, the full metal, full wood one, with a LiPo battery in the stock. Yes, I used 11-1 in a SEMA, and it worked forever. And I was ranging people like crazy, and they couldn't hit me, and they were complaining. They're like, "You didn't call your hits." I'm like, "You didn't hit me because it was too far away." "Well, how are you shooting this?" "Well, I was using an AK with a 455 inner barrel." Sorry.
So you're saying just stick within your budget. The reason they create all those guns,
but don't be afraid of something within that budget. Don't be afraid of a sub $200 gun.
Yeah, there's still great guns, and because you haven't spent that much, you haven't broken the bank on the gun itself, you can always do your own upgrades in the future if you want. Switch the body around. Change the internals or whatever you want to do. Okay.
That's a good question. Work within your budget. I had to work within my budget. Then my budget went nowhere. Now I don't have a budget.
Mikhail Boden asks, "Hi there. What is your take on all the new camo coming out? For example, Pencott, Cryptek, and and the multicam variations. Which one is your favorite and why?
That's a tough one. I like all of them. I don't like PEQ that much, though. That's the... You know what PEQ is, right?
No.
I think it's the Canadian one. I don't know. I think somebody out there would probably be able to tell better, but I think it's weird
There's
looking.
one guy who's
it's like
answering
really
all
like
the questions
it's like really
for everybody
like
anyway. Maybe he can tell us what PEQ is.
Yes, the guy who's answering everybody's questions. Do you remember his username? I don't.
No.
Okay, stop answering other people's
No,
questions.
no, it's fine. It's fine. His opinion sometimes differs from ours, so do what you got to do. But
don't answer it before we can answer it.
well, whatever.
All right, but what were we talking about?
Dude, I love the different multicam variations. Do I think they're 100% necessary? Regular multicam works amazingly in every environment, except the snow or whatever.
I think the suspicion I have is that Cry did it to make more money. Cry is already a very wealthy company as it is, especially being out of New York, and they just, I think, are finding ways to make. It's just like any person that survives on military contracts. You got to keep them buying stuff.
True.
That's the key to being successful with military contracts.
Especially when other companies
you
are
need
releasing
reorders and reorders and reorders, and I think creating multiple environments or multiple camos is beneficial. It is.
And as for the Cryptek stuff,
Cryptek's coolish.
I mean, you just took a hunter pattern and
well, it was a hunter. That's what it was designed for. For hunters. It's definitely unique. I mean, if you show up at a field like that, you are way different than most people.
And then just put on an orange vest, and they'll think you're a hunter.
And it works. I mean, Cryptek does work pretty well.
I mean, it's not multicam, but
I don't know. But it's just the thing is, everybody wears a multicam though.
Speaking of new patterns, LBX's pattern,
Project Honor.
The Project Honor camo pattern.
That's being a little bit different.
The large block digitization, I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that does more to break up.
Yeah. Somebody decked out in the full camo. It actually looks pretty cool.
That's what I'm saying. Also, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say, if you're going to put an entire
loadout
camouflage together loadout wise, and you go entirely one color, like that doesn't really help you blend in any better than if you were wearing, like, for example, if I went with a all desert rig, right, and then I wore a desert vest with desert pouches and a desert backpack, that doesn't help to break up my figure any more than if I was wearing one solid one solid green pattern. What I would do is take a vest and put different colored pouches on it. And then you get like large blocks of different colors. It'll look ridiculous, but they'll never see you coming.
I mean, that's pretty standard, but at the same time, you just mentioned multicam. What if you're wearing
that's what I'm saying.
Full multicam. It's breaking up your figure better than if you're wearing solids.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, I wouldn't wear a multicam and then wear a multicam vest with
that's
multicam
just you
boots.
Personally.
Yeah, I would wear other colors.
But if you did wear everything that was multicam, you'd blend in very well because multicam already blends in well.
Yeah, but then you just look all multicam. Like, why not put like a brown vest on?
You look like you're an operator, man. And this is coming from a guy who I own very little multicam. I have nothing in Cryptek. Yeah. That's another story. I have nothing in Cryptek. I have some Swedish M90 camo.
I like the chocolate chip desert.
I don't have any chocolate chip anymore. I use
6-color desert for those of you who don't know what chocolate chip is.
Yeah.
All right. Who chose the last one? That was me. You chose. Okay. Wait. What? No. Never mind. No. You choose. Go ahead. All right.
Made a big deal about it.
No, I don't remember who did it. Checkmick asks, "Hi guys, question: if you were building, if you were building up a V2 gearbox for yourselves, what would you put in it?" I'd put a Pro in. Wait, that is the gearbox.
He's working on his Pro in right now.
I'm working on repairing my Pro in because I actually managed to warp the bearing holes, which is insanely difficult.
I'm a big fan of the GMP gearboxes in terms of probably a good system that's very compatible with everything.
Or the old Sistema red lettering shells, if you can find one.
What I love, what would I put in, like, if I had to, or
no, like if you were building a gearbox, what kind of gear? Like a good quality set of gears.
The gears I would use is the Matrix gears that we have here are I've used them in guns to replace gears. Very good. They're actually better than some of the other gears on the market that are more expensive, which is really nice.
The SHS are also good.
Yeah,
Siege Techs we know are
Siege
fantastic.
Techs are amazing, but I don't need to spend that much money on the gears from my personal, because I'm not running a DSG setup or a high speed setup. One of the best upgrades is a good air nozzle. I recommend the Garter. I've used that with good results. Piston wise, I like the GMP piston that just has the few metal teeth, because That way it gives out if it gets in trouble.
Yeah, the GMP white pistons are really good. There's a whole bunch of pistons that are extremely durable, and especially if you're going with something like an aluminum one that has the lightweight cutouts, decreases inertial the mass so that it doesn't take as long to cycle. I've had really good luck with JBU cylinder heads and piston head combinations because they're made to work together and they're dual O-ring, which is nice. Cylinders, it doesn't entirely matter. I mean, as long as you're porting it correctly. The Sistema Area 1000 stuff really isn't terribly popular anymore. I used to use their stuff.
I kept every Sistema part I still have.
Yeah.
And I use them. I have a few Sistema cylinders in some of my GMPs.
Modified bearings are fantastic. There's a GMP
8mm ball bearing for sure.
Yeah. So
sorry,
dude, there are just so many parts. Like picking a set. Really, you should talk to somebody who knows a lot about building an airsoft gun and has built them in the past, and and kind of get a feel for what you want to do with the gun, like what you want it to do performance-wise, and then it's easier to select the parts that you need to accomplish that goal. Set out with a goal before you start building.
Good question.
Like when I built my pistol, like I had to know what I was going to do with it, whether it was going to be high speed or high cycle rate, or if I wanted to kick hard, because that all goes into how many parts you choose.
That's a really nice pistol, I have to say, and I'm not really a high Kappa fan.
I'm sorry.
Ethan Jennings asked, "Hey, Mitty Matt and Beavery Beaver.
Mitty Matt and BV Beaver. We've got nicknames.
Nicknames. How do you guys feel about springers from Walmart? I saved up my money to buy a professional airsoft AEGs, but my friends keep buying cheapos. So what's your opinion on springers on the airsoft field?" There's nothing funnier than somebody shooting at you with like .12s, and you go into the matrix like whoa, because they're they come in like really ridiculously.
And if there's any wind at all, like if somebody breathes as the .12 passes, it's off.
It just goes flying into the distance, and actually, if there's a little bit of wind, it'll boomerang and hit them in them.
I mean, dude, if your friends want to keep buying springers, you got the advantage. Continue to encourage them to buy springers, whether they're buying them from Walmart or not. It doesn't matter where you're buying. Well, it does matter where you're buying your airsoft guns. As long as the people selling you the airsoft guns are giving you, all the education and they're checking, your ID and making sure that you're an adult when you're purchasing them and stuff, and you can be responsible with it. Hey, you
want to have fun though? Have a Springer only revolver game. Yeah,
much fun.
Your turn.
The questions I feel are getting longer over time.
I think
right as I pull a short question.
What the good thing is I'm going to make a suggestion about the comments. Don't ask questions that are specific, like what do you think of this gun or that gun. We're not going to answer it. Actually, it won't even pass the filtered part. Another thing I get irritated about is when people are asking questions that are answered in previous Not So Round tables.
You get irritated?
Yes, I get a little irritated.
I thought I was the only one who irritated you.
No, you don't irritate me anymore.
Rich Plaza asks, "Hey Evike, what is the weirdest encounter you've had with a customer?"
I've never, honestly, since I worked here, I've never dealt with a customer. Well, I've never worked in the store, and I don't plan to. What's up?
Weirdest encounter.
There's some weird people that play airsoft.
No, every customer that I've ever met was super cool, with the exception of this guy named JP. We were at the airsoft camp up in Big Bear, California. It was a weekend. We were up there hanging out. A couple kids asked me to, sign something for them, which is cool. I don't mind, signing people's stuff. JP saw me signing stuff. He rips off his shirt and asked me to sign his chest. I thought he was kidding. He wasn't kidding. So I grabbed a purple Sharpie and wrote my name on his chest. Probably the weirdest encounter. Most recent customer encounter I've had. I went to an air show.
Oh yeah, you told
last
me about
weekend
this.
in Lancaster. Went to an air show.
Yeah, for your dad's
and we went through the security check at the front. They checked my friend's purse, Kevin. He doesn't watch these anyway. So we went through the security checkpoint, and then out of nowhere I hear "Excuse me!" And this kid came over full Navy garb. I think he was in the ROTC program. Does the Navy have their own?
Yeah, they have an ROTC program.
Introduced himself, and we talked for a couple minutes. So it was kind of cool to run into an airsoft guy, outside of the store in the middle of Lancaster, which is the middle of nowhere in California. And the air show was awesome. And we took a picture. So That was my encounter.
I told you about. No, I haven't told you. But when I went to Insight the other week, there was people talking to me about this show.
Really?
And so now I blame him.
I'm sorry.
Because I didn't want to be on the show originally.
No.
But now I'm on the show, so it's okay. I got over it.
I think we're both having fun.
I'm having fun. Let's answer one more question. That was kind of a short one.
Okay.
So we're gonna.
George's gonna finish it off. And then we'll ride into the sunset.
XX Bandito. XX Benito. Bandito.
I think that's like a Spanish word for like a.
Hey, check this out. This is the best question ever. I'll try to keep this short. Do you think Airsoft could become like a sport in a league with scoring? If so, what would the scoring be and what would be some of the rules? I don't think it can. I don't know. I think because it's so driven by honor that it's very... I mean, if you watch sports at all, you'll know that professional athletes will cheat all the time if they get away with it.
Well, okay. So... Okay, let me start off by saying this has been done before. Or now with Airsoft.
Attempted.
It has been attempted before. Paintball tried to do like a national sport that was televised. And the cool thing about paintball is because you're actually seeing the markers hit, you can actually tell when someone's been hit. And they're fairly fast-paced games. And because it's like a speedball environment, you don't have people hiding as much, and you can pretty much cover with cameras like the whole deal.
Yeah.
So having standings and things kind of worked. The thing is, they didn't have the viewership they expected, so it didn't last very long.
No.
Now take Airsoft, which is not generally on a speedball course, uses people who by default are going to be hiding and staying out of view, which makes it difficult to cover. And it's an honor-based game. And when the chips are on the line, when winning is the only option, you're gonna sometimes unfortunately have people who will not call their hits, and it becomes even more difficult to tell if somebody's cheating or not. So to make it like a professional sport would be extremely difficult unless we all start using those BBs that leave like a mark, which.
Even still, I don't foresee that it would ever become that.
Plus, it takes the fun out of it. Everyone's there every weekend to shoot each other and have fun. And if it becomes super competitive and like I win, you win kind of thing, I think it'll take all the fun out of Airsoft. And that's not a competition I'd want to be part of.
It took a lot of fun out of paintball if you think about it. Because, I mean, Airsoft is starting to slowly surpass paintball.
Oh, yeah. Dude, the camaraderie. This community's got it. All day.
Every day.
Every day. Airsofters unite.
Oh, man.
Anyway, thanks again for joining us on the Not So Round Table. We didn't get to a huge amount of questions, but like I said, we're going to keep getting through this helm.
We talked about all this.
Oh, we did. Well, yeah, I guess.
Okay.
So keep submitting new questions that you guys have, and we'll get to those next week. Maybe we'll bring on a guest. Maybe not. Guess you'll have to tune in to find out. Maybe we'll bring Shades back. I don't know.
We might be bringing Shades back, and we also might be doing a surprise table talk in the store.
What?
So if you guys just found out about it. That's how
surprising
it was.
Well, so we'll see you guys next time.
Later.
Bye. It was not loaded, I promise.
You guys see that?
Yeah. Please don't put a BB in it. I don't have iPro on. I need an adult. Okay, no, seriously. We don't have iPro on. I trust you, George.
It's not loaded. I would never do that.